I was out with my FatBike riding in the snow for the first time this winter. The winter is now over, the snow is gone, the trails are real wet, so I have to pack it up and wait around for 3-4 weeks for the trails to dry. In the meantime, I thought I'd record what I've learned about riding an e-bike in the snow. Am I crazy? Predicting 24 centimeters of snow this afternoon. Already got a good bit down. Gonna head out in the woods with the studs on the front and the motor. She locked up quick on that greasy road. Yeah, you can hear the studs biting. Oh, like that. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Oh. Hello. Another item I learned, put studs into my tires and went out and rode on a little bit of snow, probably 3-4 inches, might have been less than that, over top some frozen snow or ice in a lot of cases. And what happened is the studs didn't work worth a dang. On pure ice or packed snow, the studs work well, don't get me wrong. But when you've got a little bit of snow underneath, especially the type that's, it tends to pack. And when it packs, your studs can't reach the ice underneath, and the snow's not grabbing onto the ice underneath, so you just slide right down as if you had no contact at all. You can't count on the studs to help you and hold you up. I got my studs in the front wheel anyhow. Beautiful day out here, eh? Thank you. You're going for it, are you? No, good bike! Front motor wasn't working, I was coasting. Found it harder to steer in the snow. It may be the extra weight on the front wheel, it may not be. When I started pedaling and the front wheel was energized and pulling, I found it much easier to steer. And that's in comparison to one of my friend's fat bikes that I was riding in the same conditions. And studs stick out about a millimeter or less, eh?
Wow.
But it pulls, as you notice.
Yeah, step J&L. We're going up J&L.
Oh, no, we are. Yep.
And now you can do it. Come on!
Okay, you gotta get used to the where you set the pedal assist. How much pedal assist you want, how fast you want to pedal. You don't want to go too fast in here. The underneath layer is very slippery. Oh, like that. When you're riding with the PAS, you want to match the speed of the front tire with your cadence, the speed of the back tire. You've got to match it up so when you're pedaling, both wheels are pulling about the same weight. Okay, if one wheel goes faster than the other, then it's basically fighting the other wheel. So always the first thing I did is I found the right cadence and the right gear, and it seemed to work well. After I found it, took a while. When I was pedaling, I'm used to, from riding bikes, mountain bikes, of coasting. You get around coming into a curve, you're going down a little bit of a slope, you stop pedaling. If you stop pedaling, your front wheel, with a little bit of resistance, makes it a lot harder. You got to keep pedaling, even though you don't have to put pressure on your pedal. You have to keep the cadence going in order for the magnetic pickup to give the signal to the motor and the front wheel to keep rolling. If you don't, there's a slight resistance on the front wheel, and if you're in slippery snow, it makes a difference. It makes it much harder to steer. So you've got to keep pedaling, or you're going to have a problem. Oh, got to keep it going. Nobody's been on this for a while, eh? You're spinning and I'm not. The front tire's pulling really nice, as long as you keep weight on it. I can find out also what happened is that the pickup from the paw, pedal assist system, we got snow covered, filled up with snow. It got packed in there. Now, I'm not sure if that was because I was falling too much off the path as I was playing around and trying different things, or it's because the back wheel was somehow firing it into that area and packing it up, but every so often I had to clean it out. Another thing I found out when I was riding is I carry my bike on the outside carrier in the back of a small car, and therefore I'm riding down the streets where they have salt, and of course salt gets in everything on the bike. I'm used to riding and had my fat bike set up for a certain position, a certain seat height. What you have to do in the snow, especially if you've got a front wheel drive and you've got all wheel drive, two-wheel drive on your fat bike, you got to make sure that most of your weight is evenly distributed on the front wheel and the back wheel. I was cheating though.
I saw your wheels spinning.
Ah, yeah, it was.
You're born on the trails a bit.
Two items that should be mentioned. Number one is the PAS, the pedal assist. The rotary wheel with the magnets in it on one side seemed to rust. On the side that I put the pickup on did not appear to rust. I didn't do anything about it. You may want to cover that. Second one are the spokes that I put into the wheel were pitted by the end of the season, so I cleaned them with emery cloth and steel wool and painted them with clear coat from automotive paint. Let me see if I can get out of here.
You can do it.
Oh, geez. And back on the trail. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Terrific.
Oh, you got an e-bike. Cool. How is it?
You learn to get the cadence right, the gear. This thing's got different levels of assist, so I keep it on the low one.
Oh, neat.
So it doesn't spin ahead of you.
And it's just front wheel?
Just front wheel, yep.
Neat.
So with two-wheel drive,
Yeah.
you can go through it pretty good.
I bet.
But what I did is I pumped the tires up quite a bit.
Not good.
Oh, not good at all.
Probably want them pretty soft.
I had them down to about 4 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was going through it pretty good, so I've got them up to 8 now.
Yeah. They kind of cut in and squish around.
Yeah, they get.
I just put mine up too before coming out, and I shouldn't have. So.
Yeah. Well, I just put mine up to see what it was like, and the 8 pounds don't work. I'll bring them down to 5 on the next round.
Motor not working?
Yeah, it is. Power, known as watts or joules, most people refer to it as watts, is torque, force on your pedal, times the rotational speed, or your cadence, which is revolutions per minute. I'm not sure that watts equals watts. Watts from pedaling, mechanical power, equals electrical power to the motor is a good, what should I say here, a good metric for measuring the power of your front wheel versus your pedaling power to keep the wheels going at the same rotation, the same pulling power, I guess. So, how fast you want to pedal? You don't want to go too fast in here. The underneath layer is very slippery. Oh, like that. I started off with the studs, 14 pounds or 12 pounds. Now that just made it like a very thin footprint, which didn't work very well in snow. It didn't work well in the ice either. So as I was riding along, I kept letting a little bit more. Each time I went around, I let the air out of the tires and found out that in that particular tire, which is 4.8 I think inches, about 5 pounds. We're down to about 5 pounds in here now.
Oh yeah?
That works fine. Works fine.
Want to do perk bike?
Got it.
Now you give me a push.
Now I'll give you a push, yeah. Make get both tires going here at the same time. Look. Where did that go? With the snow tire and the studs, much easier. The actual rotating tire, front drive tire, pulls you out of the snow instead of acting more like a snowplow. I can see Al struggling back there. Good combination. All-wheel drive, two-wheel drive.
Picked a good day to bring your motor.
Yeah, I can see you look tired.